Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at some teams who are looking like they're going to be relegated this season. And these are teams that are more likely to just get promoted straight back into their main division. And just a second, like usual guys, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button below and liking the video and also leaving yourself a comment, that'd be greatly appreciated. But enough babbling on, let's get into the video. And the first team we're going to go through is going to be Clermont of Ligue 1, and they are currently at €36 for the whole starting 11. Now, from what you can see the other day, they literally played on the 2nd. I'm recording this currently on the 4th. So a couple of days ago, they lost 5-1 at home to Marseille. Marseille are a half-decent team. As you can see, they are 7th place currently. But there's Clermont there, sitting in 18th in the table. With only 17 points, 3 games, 1 out of 24, having lost 13 of them and drawn 8. It's not looking very good for them. They've only scored 17 goals and conceded 41, as I said, in the 24 games they've had so far this season. And with 10 games remaining at this point, they don't stand a very good chance of getting out of that relegation zone, which is extremely weird considering just last season they finished in 8th place. Now, I don't know Clermont very well. If you do know, please leave in the comments below. But I don't know if they lost any players or if they over exceeded expectations from last season. But to see them go from this to this is really, really weird indeed. So yeah, I think they're going to be a really good coup. So let's go through a couple of the players that could be good to hold on to. According to Sorare data, it seems like Johan Gastien is their best player. So let's just crack into him. Now, he is 36 years old, which is obviously a downside of him. But it looks like he still has a contract till midway of next season. And I'll pop that on screen. That's according to Flash Score. Now, if we go briefly, just look at his stats. L5 45, L15 of 50, accompanied that with an L40 of 50 as well. He's only at 55p at the moment, as you can see there again, his rough ETH price as well. So these are his scores of all time since being on Sorare, of course, on Sorare data. And yeah, 4 goals, 4 assists, obviously not a lot, but you can still see he hits those scores with the nice greens, etc. every now and again. Obviously, this is all within the Ligue 1 as well, for Clermont has been in that time, for the time he's been with Clermont. And if they're being relegated this season, then I think he should do quite well. Now, these are players, obviously, I'm just showing you. I don't actually know how they play or what they're like, but if he plays, half decently in Ligue 1, I think that could equate to a quite good player in League 2. And at just 55p or even £3.80 in rare, he could be someone you can well hold on to for next season. Obviously, like I said, the 36 years of age is the downside of this guy, but I don't think it's too bad. I think it's not worth, I think it's worth actually the risk of only just 55p. And if he plays next season in League 2, who knows, he could be a worldie who could do really well, because you would assume that Clermont would be favourites to come back up into League 1. The next team is going to be Mainz, currently of the Bundesliga, and they are currently only just under €34 for the starting 11. All these teams are going to be very similar, obviously, because they're going to be within the relegation zone of their respective league, and Mainz are no different to that. Like Clermont, they drew recently to Borussia Mönchengladbach 1-1 at home as well, which isn't that bad for them considering Mönchengladbach are sitting 12th. They're not having the best of seasons. Yeah, 16 points from 24 games at the moment, 2 wins, 10 draws and 12 losses, only conceding 38 times in those 24 and only scoring 19. And as you can see on screen, Mainz have some very important fixtures coming up away to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich haven't been in the best of form recently, but they should win that. They are then at home to Bochum, which is going to be very important because that could push them and help them come out of relegation zone. Leipzig away from home again, probably going to be ending in defeat, and then at home again to Darmstadt, again another relegation candidate as well. And yeah, they just got some really difficult and easy games, like they could really push them out of the relegation zone. So only time will tell if this is going to be good, but there are a good couple of players at Mainz that I think are going to do well in the second tier of the Bundesliga. And this as follows. And that is going to be Amiri, formerly of Bayern Leverkusen, has just recently completed a transfer to Mainz, a permanent transfer of €1 million. And he's doing really well so far in his starts with Mainz in the Bundesliga. L5 of 67 showcases that. L15 of 58, which is really nice and high as well. Even despite playing 60%, he was very on and off for Leverkusen. And then L40 of 42 as well. currently sitting at £8.26, which is not too bad, I don't believe, for a player who's currently sitting in the champion division. Obviously, this will go down to all the way to contender, which is a big drop. But if you're looking for cheaper alternatives, this guy could be one of your mainstays in your team. Like I said earlier, the games are going to be very difficult for them. So I can't really see them get out of relegation, but it really depends on that result against Bochum, Darmstadt, Cologne, for example, as well. If we go through his scores, as you can see here, very on and off through his time at Leverkusen, and since he's been at Mainz, you can see here from game week 447 to current, which is 455, which has been very recently, a couple of days ago. He's doing really, really well so far for a team that is struggling so far in the Bundesliga. And as you can see, even despite his recent praises and his recent great AA scoring and a couple of decisives there, they are still not picking up results. Now, if we just put in just the Mainz contributions so far this season, 73, 75, 97 and 66, some lovely green scores there. And I just feel like a player of Amiri's sort of capabilities and abilities, he should really rip it up in the like I said, in the second tier of the Bundesliga, and Mainz are more than likely again going to come back to the first tier in the Bundesliga. Now, the next team we're going to get into is obviously in through the Premier League, and that's going to be Burnley. And I think this is really good. It's only just under €70 at the moment. I think they're probably the more expensive side of things because of someone like James Trafford, who is under 23, English goalkeeper. And obviously the prices of Premier League in season are very inflated, and Trafford only has in season currently. But yeah, I think this is a really good coup. You can see there Josh Brownhill being apparently their best player according to Sorare data. As you can see there, Vincent Kompany's Burnley is not doing too well at all. It's sitting in 19th place, same amount of points as Sheffield United, having a minus 35 goal difference, 60 goals conceded in 27 games, and only scoring 25 in the process, which is indeed vastly different to their season last season when they hit 101 points, scored 87 goals, and only conceded 35 in the Championship to be promoted to now enter the Premier League. So if they can replicate any sort of form there, I think it's going to be really, really good. And yeah, I think they are a solid shout for about that 60 to 70 euro mark. So let's take someone like Josh Cullen, for example, who is currently sitting at only 83p as a time recording, only £10 in rare as well. So the 27-year-old is at L5 of 44 and L15 of 37. Very low usage rates as well, you can see there as well. Now, if we filter this just through his time in the Championship of all time, you can see he puts up some really nice, consistent scores as well, usually above that 50-point mark. And if we filter that to his time in the Premier League, you can see here he has hit a peak there where I think it was just a clearance off the line. But yeah, you can see nothing special, albeit I believe he was riddled with injuries through this season. But Josh is just one of those players that you can pick up through Burnley, and like I showed you before, you can pick up the whole team for as little as 60, 70 euros, which is double the price of the ones like I showed you prior. But the Championship does go into Challenger as opposed to anyone who gets relegated to League 2 or the Bundesliga second tier, or the French or even the Spanish second tier, will all go into Contender. And the last team I'm going to show you guys is going to be Granada of La Liga. And from what you can see for the starting 11 from the most previous game week, is 21 euros to pick up the starting 11. And again, like the others, you can see on screen, they are sitting 19th in the relegation zone out of 20, obviously, in La Liga, like I said prior. Only 14 points from 26 games. So they've only won 2 games, and they've drawn 8 and lost 16 so far. They've won, well, they scored 28 in 26, but they have also conceded 54 in that time bracket as well. So yeah, it's very difficult for them, and they've got some difficult fixtures coming up. And the fixtures are as follows. Obviously, you've got Granada at home to Real Sociedad. That's going to be very difficult for them. I think Sociedad are quite a decent team, and they should ideally pip it, although Granada could win that, of course. They are then away to Mallorca and away to Cadiz, which again are near the relegation zone for them as well. So they're going to be competitors for them for that. So they're going to be pivotal, vital results for them if they end up winning, of course. And then obviously you've got Valencia, Alves, Atletico Bilbao, Osasuna, Sevilla, Real Madrid. You know, they've got some hard to mediocre games coming up. And again, from last season, very much like Burnley, Granada were first in La Liga 2, having scored 75 points with 22 wins, 9 draws, 11 losses. They conceded 30 goals, but also scored 55 in the process. So we're having a goal difference of 25. So hopefully, if they do get relegated, they can replicate some prior form to potentially get them back up to the first division of Spain. And if you are interested in grabbing yourself a Granada stack because of this video, well, leave a like first of all, but also I would recommend Uzuni, and I recommend him for this reason. From last season, he was the top goal scorer in La Liga 2, to obviously help get them that promotion to now La Liga. And you can see there, scoring 23 goals, was quite comfortably in front by 4 goals, which is really, really good. And these are his stats from just La Liga 2. And you can see there, he's had 23 goals, 5 assists in just 35 games, plus 3 off the bench. So you can see the scores there. Loves the dark green, you can see, and some light greens also there, and accompanied obviously every now and again the yellows. But I think he could replicate some sort of form like this, considering he's only, I think, 28 years of age also. But of course, it's all subject to change, because they could pick up a load of wins in a row and then potentially could be 15th, 16th, which again, it's not the most ideal, but if then you buy them now and you just use them for the time being, then you could use their good form to your advantage. But if they don't do very well, then I still see the upside of keeping them for the lower division. And yeah, I think all teams that I've showed today can do really well for you guys and to just sit in your gallery. And if you're new here, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell to be notified every time I upload.